Okay, our keynote speaker for tonight I want to bring up is Todd Schlekeway. He's the CEO of NATE, the National Association of Tower Erectors. They have a great booth in the back there for you to get some information. Please welcome to the stage Todd Schlekeway.
Testing. Well, thank you, Steve. We appreciate getting this opportunity tonight. As a former politician, I can tell you the number one rule is you got to know your audience and where you're speaking. And when the industry has not come together in this magnitude for 17, 18 months, I'm the only thing in the way between a big rock concert and a bunch of libations. I will try to keep this as quick as possible. I'm just going to do a quick overview tonight over some of the issues we're experiencing. Most of you are familiar with NATE. We have 1,080 member companies. We have members in all 50 states and 13 foreign countries. The first issue I'm going to talk about is kind of the current environment when it comes to wireless contractors. And we go to these conferences and sometimes it's sunshine and lollipops. Well, I'm here to tell you, based on the feedback I get from our members every day, that there are some challenges when it comes to the contracting space. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. You can see the screen over there and over there. This one won't be on the presentation. So I have a rhetorical question for all of you. I want you to think about. I'll pause for impact, but is wireless contracting becoming untenable in the United States? I know there's some of you in the audience who can relate to this, because whether you're a contracting firm, a site act firm, engineering firm, it's not the easiest environment to be in right now, and I'm going to walk through a little bit about that tonight. All right. Other than workforce issues, I hear more about the pricing pressures from our members than any other issue. And I hear them in the form of phone calls. I hear them in the form of text messages. I get them in emails. And these are real challenges right now, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of the contractors, it's been hard to be profitable. There's a lot of kind of take it or leave it contractual matrix pricing that the contractors are having to overcome. And we say this against the backdrop of trying to grow and sustain a viable workforce. So keep that in mind moving forward. The liability, if you look at the liability, I hear a lot about liability, shifts pretty strongly to the contractor side, and liability, the onboarding requirements, the costs. Yeah, it's a tough landscape to operate in. These aren't easy conversations to have, especially at a conference like this, but NATE is going to be committed to start banging this drum a little louder. We've talked before about the payment terms from the major customers. What used to be 30-day payment terms are now 90 days, but in reality, by the time the clock starts, it can be 140 days before a small business gets paid for a job they did deploying wireless infrastructure. Think about that. Can you pay your phone bill in 90 days, 180 days? No. You got to pay it every month, don't you? These are real issues, and we're going to start bringing them to light. So what are some of the ramifications that we see as NATE when it comes to this landscape? Number one, safety. Everyone knows NATE, first and foremost, is dedicated to safety. Safety can be compromised. I've seen it personally compromised. When the margins get squeezed, What gets cut? Too often it's the safety and the culture of safety within that company or organization. The workforce retention issues. Even though you have more work, you need more workers. When the cash flow is not there, pretty hard to hire. It's even harder to retain. Maybe we need to start talking about more funding flowing to the contractor pool in this country and getting creative with some of the funding mechanisms that are available through government agencies, through congressional actions. These are the things that we are going to start talking about more, because these are ramifications that are playing out right now in this country. Despite all the success, despite the dynamic industry that we're in, you know, we can't paint rose-colored eyeglasses over everything. So, road to stability. What can we do? We need to start talking about it a little more. Talking about it with our members of Congress, government agencies, top-tier client engagement with the major customers in the industry. And that's what Nate is committed to doing here moving forward. The ecosystem that we're in is outstanding, but it's a chain of command, and we need every layer of that chain to be strong and healthy for this industry to survive. We talk so often about bridging that digital divide, beating China in 5G. Well, these are issues we may want to take a look at first. All right, I'm going to pivot now. I'll get off my soapbox there, and we'll talk about workforce development. The industry really is making strides when it comes to workforce. I know WIA has a good presence here this week. Nate, between our two organizations alone, we are really pleased with some of the strides we've made with the workforce challenges. Nate is in year 2 of our strategic workforce plan. The 4 pillars of the plan are up on the screen. We did a survey last year, so we know the need. We're collaborating with community colleges and technical institutes right now. We've got a turnkey curriculum development group that's going to hand over curriculum that's ready-made for colleges to use. And then at the end of my speech tonight, I'm going to play the debut trailer for a documentary feature film that Nate is unveiling, releasing next year to a screen near you. I'm going to play the first trailer. You're the first people in the U.S. to see that, and it's going to be at the end of my presentation. All right, really quickly, our survey identified this is under Nate's umbrella. This is only Nate members. There's a need for 14,693 more workers in this industry. That's just our members. And a majority of those were frontline workers, the technicians, the foremen, the engineers. So we know the need. We know the exact need. So what are we going to do about it? Community colleges, okay? We have started to make progress working with some community colleges. You see the colleges in bold and black are programs that are either up and running or getting ready to start here this fall. The programs that are in red are in various stages of development. But the goal over time is to build a network of community colleges that can churn out students to work in our industry. That's really important because in our space, so much of the training is done at the employer level. The companies do the training. So these colleges and their admissions departments, their marketing departments, they can become de facto marketing agents for the industry by bringing students in. And it's our job to make the career appealing. And we already know the career ladders that exist. We already know the salaries that these workers can get in a relatively short order. So we just got to get the programs going and promote them. And that's what we're working on. That's a little bit about what we're developing with our Curriculum Development Committee. We're going to be able to hand over a turnkey packet. That college can hire adjunct instructors from industry to deliver it, and they're going to graduate in 8 to 12 weeks to be able to be hired with a tower tech. And oh, by the way, the program includes all of these embedded certifications. So it's a pretty big deal. What our programs, the curriculum also are going to do is prepare the workers to pass the NWSA certification exam. Raise your hand if you're familiar with NWSA. All right, our industry finally has a professional trade credential for tower techs and foreman level workers. We went years and years and years without it, and we're finally on a path where we're making progress in the marketplace. You can see the hockey stick curve there of the number of tests, triple T1 tests that NWSA has administered. And I don't know about you guys, if I need electrical work done in my house, I'm gonna make the man or woman who shows up at my door flash a card and let me know if they're qualified, let me know if they're credentialed. This is the same concept. America's networks need to be deployed by men and women who have demonstrated that they can do the work safely and in a quality manner. And so the NWSA is really making progress. This slide shows you in 2020 alone, 21 alone, look at how many applications they've had for triple T1, and that's the entry-level Tower Tech 1 credential. And that's during a global pandemic, mind you. So that's pretty impressive. So the industry's making progress, finally having a professional credential with an upward pathway. And this is going to play a big role in workforce development moving forward. Okay, real quick, legislative priorities. The new Congress has our heads spinning, frankly. There's not a day that goes by where there's not a broadband bill that gets introduced by a member of the House or U.S. Senate. But these are some of the core issues that Nate's tracking right now in D.C. And I'm going to focus right now on workforce, okay? So the primary workforce bills that we're tracking, we have the Telecom Skilled Workforce Act, the Impact Act, which is basically funding for HBCUs, minority serving institutions, tribal colleges, that they can partner with associations, organizations on telecom specific programs. And here's where it gets even more confusing. The Impact Act has been tied up into the U.S. Innovation and Competition Act. So that one passed the U.S. Senate. So there's progress being made. There's progress being made out there in D.C. Real quick, we're a part of a coalition that advocates for workforce issues in D.C. And you see all those organizations on the screen. If this group on the screen can't get something passed, I don't think anyone can. And the one truly great thing about our industry, I will say this, is we have one of the true bipartisan industries in America. We can go out to Washington, D.C., tell our story on both sides of the aisle, equally effective, and it's refreshing given the climate that exists. But this is a powerful group that's working together on workforce issues. All right, real quick, safety. The update I wanted to give on safety is Nate, in December, signed a national strategic partnership with OSHA and the FCC, and we are currently building the executive teams and the steering teams that are going to be a part of this partnership. And what this is going to do is get a higher level of government involvement into the day-to-day operations of the members on the ground. So they're going to submit site safety audit data to Nate, and then we'll compile it, and then we'll share the cumulative data, not the company data, the cumulative data with our partners at the FCC and OSHA. And we're really trying to identify what are some of the deficiencies at tower sites, at small cell sites. What are some of the trends that we need to work on? So this is good because we've got stakeholder involvement from Commissioner Carr, who's on the executive team at the FCC. We have the Assistant Secretary, the highest, the interim secretary at OSHA is involved. So we're excited about the potential of the partnership. Okay, real quick on training. For the 6th year, Nate has received a Department of Labor training grant, and this year our training is on 5G small cell deployment. And for those of you who are going to be here Wednesday, we're having one of these sessions in the ballroom over there, and you can walk up and participate if you haven't registered. So I would encourage you to check it out. They're really going well. It's been a goal of Nate to really dive into the small cell, the right-of-way work that's going on, the rooftop work. You know, it's not just macro towers. Everybody knows that. So we're really proud of this training. Another thing when it comes to training, I want to make sure all of you are aware of is Nate is a supporter of a organization, a program called TATE, Human Trafficking. How many of you know, raise your hands if you know about human trafficking. I will tell you, before we started getting involved with this, I was naive. So we have Tate back there. Kylie Hall has a booth back there. But what this is you can go to the website. You can find it through Nate's website or the Three Strands Global Foundation website. You can watch 3 10-minute videos. It takes about 30 minutes. And you can become what we're calling Recognize and Notify Certified. So they're teaching us as a collective industry the warning signs to watch out for and who to report those to. And why is that important? I don't have to tell all of you how mobile our industry is. You know, every day our industry is in and out of hotels, in and out of restaurants, in and out of truck stops. And our industry does a lot for the greater good. Look at what the South Wireless Summit does for charity, the states that are involved with this. I'm asking everybody to give 30 minutes to this initiative and learn more about it because it's important, and we as an industry can do more for the greater good. And Nate's really proud to be associated with this. All right, really quickly on charity, one of the most significant things I think Nate's done in our 26-year history is we started a 501c3 nonprofit called the Tower Family Foundation. Since 2014, we've given away $1.1 million. And just so all of you, if you're not aware of how that works, in the aftermath of a fatality situation or an accident, we get a check to the family within 5 to 6 days. And this is a check before workers' comp kicks in. This is a check before life insurance kicks in. And it's really been a blessing to impact the industry in that manner. We like to say we hope that that bank account just goes dry or just stays there and never gets tapped again, but reality is such that we have to have a bridge to support those families. And another shout out to the South Wireless Summit states, all of you have collectively donated $170,500 to this organization, so thank you. All right, I'm almost done. I think I've lost about 5 pounds up here. I just wanted to plug, everybody's so fired up to be back in person, and I wanted to plug our Nate Unite conferences in Vegas this year in February. I think it's going to be a record breaker. Everyone's excited to travel. You got warm weather in February, so come visit us in Vegas. We want to see you there. All right. Now, those of you at the back, you stop socializing for, give me 3 minutes here. So, one of the other exciting projects Nate's involved with, and it has to do with our workforce development initiatives. We are producing with a media production company right now a movie, a feature-length documentary film. It's called Vertical Freedom. It's going to be released in 2022 near a screen near you. And judging by the footage I've seen so far, we're going to shop it to one of the streaming services, so Netflix, Hulu, Amazon. It's that quality of film. But we are going to play for all of you right now. This is the first movie trailer for Vertical Freedom. You'll see more released as we build up to the movie unveiling. So it's exciting. We're going to send it out to the world tomorrow in a press release, but all of you in the room are the first to see this. So let me know your feedback. I am going to exit stage left. I'm going to play the trailer. Pay attention. Kevin, crank that volume up. And I'd like to hear your feedback on this.
There's been times people get up there, you take them out, and they're like, this isn't happening, and they're 12 feet off the ground, and you're like, well, we got another, 300 to go. Are you gonna make it?
Some people are really afraid of heights, and I'm the guy in the back, raising my hand. Can I go next?
To some people, we're crazy, and to some people, we're brave. It could either go both ways.
I want to live life. I don't watch TV. I don't like just sitting down. You're living, you get to experience things.
I'm not in an office, in a cubicle, behind a computer screen. There's no way I could do that.
I was like, this sounds amazing. You don't have to be at a nurse's office doing what? Wiping who?
And I remember, I couldn't believe people went up there, people worked up there, and I was like, that would be so cool.
I climb towers and the adrenaline's great, but the people make it worth it.
We're like a family, a dysfunctional family, because you got all different types of personalities.
And I do this, like, who has that phone anymore? That's a flip phone. It's like, this is my phone. Hello? It's for you.
I curse like a sailor. I'm being I'm minding my manners here.
My faith has definitely pulled me out of some dark moments.
I've lost everything multiple times. My freedom a couple times, my kids, my family, my everything.
We're super silly. You'll hear us. We'll be 300 feet in the air just singing at the top of our lungs, and I'm sure the neighbors and people around don't like it too much.
For them to say, okay, well, we'll give you this chance. It's one of those things that I'm grateful for. Being a tower climber was a great part of my life.
You're gonna always need a tower climber. You're gonna always need somebody that's gonna go up there when it does go bad.
If we don't have these towers up, there's no signal and there's no connection.
If this cell tower that we're on is turned down, you can't make these calls. You can't dial 911.
There'll always be technology and always the need for TV, radio, cellular, so it's never gonna stop.
More people, more phones, more service, more work, more workers, better life for us.
It's something that can change your life. The tower industry can do so much for you.
It's a lot of hard work, but as long as you're down for that, you can go places.
There's just something about it. It's that free feeling of just being up there, There's nothing like it.
Every climb is a great one, yeah. It's a thrill of goodness.
I guess once you start thinking you reach the top, that's where you're gonna stop. So, I haven't reached the top at all. My climb is still going up.